We are back at it with the Lincoln, and we have a lot to do. Interior cleaning, exterior cut and buff, lots of repairs, but most important, we're gonna try to get this old car back on the open road for the first time in decades. Can we do it? I'm not sure. Come on along and find out. This is a heavy little thing. Wow. Whoa.
Yeah. I knew when I saw it, I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to take that out. That, I guess it was a mansion. That's not a mouse. That's not just a mouse house. That's a mouse mansion.
Yeah, this is a condo complex. I wonder
funny.
where all that material came from. I mean, it must have come from the seats.
No, the seats are beautiful.
I mean, inside the seats.
The seats, no.
No?
The seats are beautiful. Oh, okay, right here. You know what? I think it is nothing. I think they just put that up there for, I guess for insulation. I stuck the vacuum back in there to see if I get anything out, and way back in the back there was still one left. So maybe he just did one or two. So I'm really not sure if the camera's going to pick this up with the sun, but can you see where I've cleaned right here and how dirty it is? I'm really kind of surprised by that, to be honest. So, all right, let's keep going. So I was vacuuming in here and pushed this down so I could vacuum and found a bracelet. Lady's bracelet. She had a tiny wrist, I'll say that for her. And it is engraved. She is good for love. Oh my. So I just finished vacuuming the car. Believe it or not, I vacuumed for 1 straight hour. I can honestly say I have never vacuumed anything for 1 hour. Moving on to the other side. This one definitely much more dirty than the driver's side was. So let's see how much we can get off. This is a lot of work. I think I've been out here about 4.5 hours, and so I'm gonna have to go in and wait. The sun has kind of moved in a bad spot for me, but let me just say, when we work on viewers' cars, it is a labor of love. So if you haven't subscribed already, now would be the time to do so. As you can see, we have the Lincoln in the shop, which makes it so much nicer for me than cleaning this in the sun. So yesterday, I put this ozone cleaner in here. You can see the name right there. And I left it on for 40 minutes. Believe it or not, huge difference in the car. Huge difference. I can smell a tiny bit, but nothing like before. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in the trunk, and hopefully that might take care of the smell. If it doesn't, if there's a little lingering, maybe I'll put it in here for maybe another 20 minutes or so. But guys, that thing, if you don't have one, I mean, it doesn't have to be that brand, but I'm just saying, those things are amazing. I can't wait to try it in the house around the litter boxes. At this stage, I'm just going through and I'm going to try to spot clean the areas of the carpet and the seat where I saw any dark dirt that was left behind that the vacuum wouldn't get up. And we'll see how it turns out. On to the other side. Believe it or not, the passenger side, I think it turned out pretty well. We'll know when it tries.
So I might as well take this gas tank out. I've got the lines disconnected, I've got the wires disconnected, so it's really just 2 bolts. I'm gonna oil these up, and then I'm gonna hit them with the impact wrench. Now, the issue is that this probably has Still quite a bit of bad gas in it, so it's gonna weigh a lot. So what I'm probably gonna do is get it all loose and then lower the car down to the ground and just let the old tank fall on the ground. These are super rusty. They always are. They're at the very tail of the car. But the threads are good. I have no reason to believe with my impact wrench that they won't come right out, but you do never know. But I noticed this is a nice design. If the head strips out, you can slide them to the side. That's kind of cool. Well, looks like the head did strip out up above. Crap. So I'm gonna have to figure out something different there. I've got both bolts ready to come out. All right, that's one strap. Yeah, this tank is heavy. It must be full of that black goo, because it is heavy. Looks like all that's holding it is the filler tube. So I'll look at that next. It's out. Wow. 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 I wish this would come through on camera. I wish it would come through. The gunk in here is so deep. My screwdriver just sinks into it. It doesn't want to come off on the screwdriver, but that gives you an idea. It's just shot. And there is some gas in it. A few gallons, not as much as I thought because it's mostly gunk. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this gas. I'll have to think about that. It's got to be recycled somehow. Next up is install the new tank. Here is our brand new sending unit. 2-wire, that's right. Return and primary lines. Not thrilled about the plastic float, but it's not too unusual nowadays to see that. Just have to cut this tie wrap and mount this inside the tank, all before it goes in. It goes right there. Few things in a car are easy to install as a fuel sending unit. Basically, you put the gasket in place, you've got those two tabs left and right that match with the two tabs here and here. So you just drop this in. Kind of have to finesse it to get in there. Line up those two tabs like so. Well, that doesn't line up very well. Okay, this is a little hard to do, but holding the phone, but then you put this ring on, and then you just tap the ring and rotate it, and it locks everything into place. I'll get back to you when that's done. So the next step with the tank, now that the sender is in, is to put this gasket in. Now, I have not been able to locate these anywhere. The ones that I see for sale just kind of fit in the top. They don't fit around. So what I'm going to do, this one's still pliable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this gasket shellac around the edge to seal it real tight in here. Then put some silicone spray in here to slide it up onto the filler tube. And I think that will hold it. It's certainly better than using one that's not the right one. So I'm just going to put some of this goo in here. This is really good stuff. It's old, but it's good stuff. Who knows if this is even the same formula anymore. I'm sad that I'm running out. I'm at the very bottom of the container. So then I'm just going to set this in like this. And let that shellac dry. And this thing's not going anywhere. Wow. Wonder why we changed the tank? That was just a filler neck into the tank. Okay, let's clear that out with some brake clean and we'll be done with this. So we're gonna put some silicone spray on the inside of this to make it slide better. Silicone spray is essentially lubricant for rubber. So that the tube in there, the filler tube, will slide nicely on this. Okay, I think we're ready to put this in. So we've got the tank lightly mounted and the filler neck goes into the top of the tank. So I'm going to get the scope and make sure that the filler neck is actually sticking correctly into the tank through that rubber gasket. See that? Mm-hmm. The rubber's on the left. It looks like it's in all. Yeah, I can see through. Yeah, that's in. Nice. Next up, let's hook these hoses up. Yeah, that's better like that. I'm gonna go with that. There, beautiful. You know, I have to commend Ford for putting the sending unit here. GM usually puts them on top. It's not nearly this easy. So this suction line, I don't want it any longer than it needs to be because it's just harder for the fuel pump to pull if it's got to go through kinks and bends and all that. That looks good. We'll just wipe the dirt off of it, lower this down and see if the fuel pump works. Okay, we're getting the clamp on the feed line, which I've already blown out, so I know it's clear. I'm going to hook it up to the inlet of the fuel pump. All right, big moment. Gas is going in for the first time in who knows how long. And it's got a brand new tank, new hoses, new sending unit.
Okay, try it again.
Hear any leaks on the ground?
No.
No, this doesn't reach. How did we do this before? It doesn't reach.
Do we need to turn it the opposite way?
It won't reach over there. Did we maybe have an F-series battery before? Maybe we used a different battery. We did because we didn't have the handle. So where is that battery? So this takes an F-series battery. So that battery was group 24 and the terminals were messed up because it was not an F. 24F is the same exact battery except these terminals are on the other side. And apparently this Lincoln needs an F. See that? Nicely lines up now. We don't know if this pump's any good, but I'm certainly going to give it the best chance I can. So I'm going to prime it, which means putting gas into the pump to try to just allow it to run wet and to hopefully pull from the tank because it's got a little bit of a prime.
Oh, there we go.
So I got a few more gallons of gas, and now the needle moves at least. It moves from below empty to empty. So that should be enough to pick up, but who knows? This tank is so huge. Let's hope. So I'm gonna fill the bowls, and we're gonna try it out. I can't imagine it would run this long off the bowl. So it just might be working. We'll know in a minute. There's gotta be something wrong. I don't want to declare victory yet. It's promising. I think we can declare victory.
Yeah, I do.
Fuel pump's working! Yeah! Yeah, the miss is much better. Much better. So it's working its way out as we thought it would. This thing is so quiet.
It is.
The fan and the carburetor sucking in air is making more than the exhaust, more noise than the exhaust. We put this air filter on, it's going to be whisper quiet because we won't hear that noise coming into the car. Phew, stinking this place up though.
Yeah. Well, the next part is actually going to be a little fun.
What's that? Cleaning?
No. Well, are you talking about the outside?
Yeah.
So we were talking about driving it to have them put the tires on instead of taking the tires off, right?
Yeah,
And then,
assuming the brakes are okay.
and I told Richard that kind of almost across the street from where the tire place is a do-it-yourself car wash. So we could clean it before we take it for the tires.
Good. Okay. This is the car's first time moving under its own power in who knows how long. The goal of this little jaunt is to test the brakes. Smooth. That's how I would describe this car, smooth. I mean, the brakes feel fine. I don't know how that's possible, but the brakes feel completely fine. The steering in this thing is that old 60s and 70s power steering. No road feel, but you can turn it with one finger, which I like. Some people hate it. I love it. I thought for sure I'd have a stuck brake or something. Nothing. Well, it does burn out. And the brakes are just fine. So this car is as dirty as they come. And sitting outside for many, many years, although covered up, it's still got filthy. Our plan was to take this to a local car wash, to drive it there and clean it up at the car wash, but it's not going to happen because, of course, at the last minute, a radiator hose blew. So we've got to wait for that part to arrive. The local shops don't have it, and we're going to clean it at home. We got a two-pronged approach to cleaning it. The paint is very thin on this, so we're not going to blast away with the power washer. We're going to soap it up with the power washer and use a brush and hand soap to try to loosen the dirt, and then we're going to rinse it off with the power washer and see how that works. the wash is done. It came out pretty good. Now we're not finished. We still need to do some deep cleaning of parts of the paint, and then we're gonna try to cut and buff it. The paint's really thin, so we'll see how that turns out. But let's take a walk around, take a look. You also saw how it looked before. The plastic trim, that's something we're gonna clean by hand with special cleaner and a more stiff brush. But look at how nice this came out. I mean, it really looks good, and this is dry, right? This part is dry. That's how it's gonna look. And the roof came out amazing, amazing. I'm so happy about that. So we're gonna put some vinyl roof protectant on this, and it's gonna be great. The back was particularly bad because it was kind of sticking out of the shelter, but we've got almost everything off. But this paint chips here, like this, that's a paint chip over here, and a huge one here. This is super unfortunate. I'm not sure why this is so dirty and chipped. Not a whole lot we can do about that at this time. If we found some touch-up paint, it wouldn't match at all because of how faded out this is. We're gonna have to figure out if we mess with that or leave it for the new owner.
I say leave it for Terry.
I think so.
I don't want to do anything that, I don't know, might not turn out the way he wants.
Yeah.
So I think decisions like that he can
Good point. It's not our car.
Mm-hmm.
So this side looks great as well. Unfortunately, somebody scratched the center caps at some point in its life, so there's very little shine to those center caps. They must have used something really abrasive on that chrome, and it didn't do them any favors. But look at how good this looks now. I mean, seriously, this would be something I would be completely comfortable with driving around town and not looking like I just pulled it out of a junkyard. So on to the next step. So Christine has started on the paint. What we're doing is we're hitting it with some cutting compound first, and then we're going to hit it with wax. A car this large, we really should be using a buffer, but there are so many edges, like here and here and here, and the paint's so thin, we're being super cautious about it. And we're going to see if we have the Iron Man endurance to finish the whole car by hand. Not sure that we can, but we're certainly going to try. But look at how nice this rear quarter looks already. And that's just the cutting compound. Before we use the cutting compound, even though we just washed the car, we're using foaming glass cleaner to get every little last bit of dirt off the paint. Because if there's any dirt there, the compound's just going to grind it into the paint and make small scratches. It's just an extra step that you can do when you're doing this to your own car to help ensure a better finish, a better outcome. Here's a good example of the difference between what's been cut and what hasn't. Now, this color is so light it's hard to see, but there's a good shot. Pretty significant. Gets all the dirt out and such. But unfortunately, I did find a spot on the roof that the paint has already worn through. I'm going to show you that. Right there. I haven't touched this section yet other than wash it with glass cleaner. But this piece here, that's all worn through. So I'm just going to have to be extra careful around it with the cutting compound. For the trunk, I've switched up to a little bit stronger compound, this stuff. And you see the difference. It's doing a good job. The other stuff is too, but it's not quite strong enough for something like the trunk that was exposed to so much direct sunlight. Here's where I've done, here's where I haven't. I was curious what would happen with these stains. See that round one right there? With this stuff, it takes it right out. Look at that, gone. That's great. This hood is the torture test for sure. you can see it's already streaked. Look at that. That's not the light. Those are streaks in the paint. And they don't go all the way down the hood, but they're at the top. So this hood is a mess. The paint's thin. It's very chalky, very oxidized. I'm going to attempt it by hand, but I don't know. I have to reach pretty far to do it, and keeping my hand flat is going to be difficult, so I may have to break out the buffer for the hood. The compounding is finished, so now I've started on the chrome, just using some turtle wax on that chrome. The chrome on this car is really nice, so it'll come back easily with that. Nothing fancy. And here I'm doing a test of two kinds of waxes that I have. This one on the right is silicone based and it's liquid. This is paste wax, normal paste wax. And we'll see which one looks better. I have my guesses, but I'll hold them for now. And then we'll do another coat on the vinyl top when we're finished. The chrome on the rear is an interesting contrast. The top looks good, and the bottom is very oxidized, and I've actually cleaned this already, and it looks terrible. So I'm using some old-fashioned Brasso, which is metal cleaner, and I've started to do it right there, and you can see what an awesome job it's going to do. This stuff, if you can find it, it's really good for chrome. And all kinds of other products as well. I'm going to use it on the stainless on this car too. The stainless on the door sill is very, very bad. Christina's actually cleaned this already. It's been washed and she's wiped it, and it's very, very bad. So let's see how this stuff, how Brasso takes care of this. It's going to be interesting. So I've got a little here on a rag. Let's see what happens. Okay, holding a camera is less than optimal for this, but let's wipe the Brasso off and see what we got. Okay. Certainly a lot better. Certainly a lot better. Still lots more to do to this, but it's a lot better than it was. I think not holding the camera, being able to press a little harder, this will clean up a little bit better. It's probably not going to clean up totally because whatever's on here is very, very thick. But we'll see. It's better. I wouldn't call it great, because this stainless is very, very bad, very pitted. But it's a lot better after the Brasso treatment. So we've got the paste wax here, the liquid silicone wax here. I'm going to wipe them both off. Let's see what we got.
Aren't you supposed to go in a circle?
To wipe it off?
Yeah, wax on, wax off like the movie.
Yeah, I'm not Chinese. So, what do we have? Boy, it's a tough call, isn't it?
From where I'm at, I like the thicker one.
The paste wax?
I think it's much shinier.
So here's the dividing line here. And I know on camera you guys probably can't see it because
You might be able to. Honestly.
it's so close. So where's the dividing line here? Okay, yeah. If you let's look at just the dividing line. That's pretty
you
significant,
mean,
right?
I was looking between the
Look
two.
here to here. That's
yeah.
pretty significant.
Yeah.
Let's look at this line. This is far less significant here to
Yeah, I
here.
really can't even
Far less, yeah.
Yeah. From
Okay,
standing
so
back
the
here,
paste wax wins.
The paste is much better looking.
And here's in between the two.
You'll probably be able to tell when you watch the video I'm taking.
Well, you know, sometimes you look at the reflection of light. So is the reflection clearer here or here? It's no huge difference. So let's use the paste.
Oh.
So I've got wax applied to the roof and the hood. You may be asking yourself, why am I doing this? Didn't we just spend Missed a spot here. Did we just spend a lot of time shining up the paint? Yes, we did, but we cut the paint. So the paint is now exposed to the elements. You've got to protect it. And that's where the wax comes in. Wax is not polish. Polish is sort of like what we did. It's got a little abrasive in it. Cuts the paint, cuts the oxidized layer out of the paint. We used more aggressive polish, for lack of a better term. So now we've got to coat it with wax. You don't need a lot. If you use a lot, it just makes it harder to come off. A can like this should do even a big car like this many times. Yes, I have a lot on the chrome. It comes off easy on chrome, and I wasn't being careful because of the fact that it comes off so easy. But don't get it on the black. It's really difficult to get it off the black. So I've still got to do the sides, and I'll do that, and then let it sit and dry up, and then remove it. More to come. The rocker stainless on the driver's side came out a lot better. I used an applicator pad instead of a rag, so I'm going to try that on the passenger side. I bet it comes out better than it is now. Definitely looks better when you use a pad. So use Brasso with a pad. It's still, this side's still got a lot of corrosion and pits, but it looks a lot better than it did. So I'm starting to remove the wax from the chrome, and you can see it takes a little more effort because I laid it on so thick. Obviously, I didn't lay it on this thick on the paint, but I don't mind laying it on thick on chrome. I've never had a problem doing that, and it does protect it. This is the fun part, taking it off. You can see if it's done a good job or not, and I think in this case, it's done a good job. Well, let's see. Comes off nice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I am certainly happy with that. Yeah. Yep. That looks pretty good. I'll get back to you when I get some more off. You keep me company? So I've got the roof cleared, the hood, the trunk, and starting on the sides. It's important not to do any of the stuff to this finish in the sunlight. Don't wax it, don't strip it, don't do any of that, and preferably don't even wash it, because sometimes you can't get it dry quick enough before the spots form from the water. So this has all been done in the shop here, which has been great. It's a nice day today, not super hot. So blessed with being able to do that. To remove it, I'm just using a microfiber towel, not a buffer or anything. I don't like to use buffers to remove wax. So I'm just using a towel, and when it gets full of old wax, I'll just grab a new one. It'll probably take 2 towels to do this car. When the sun is out tomorrow, since it's twilight now, I'll give you all a rundown of how this came out. I'm pretty happy with it. It, of course, looks way better than it did. It's super clean right now. Vinyl top shiny. The chrome on this car is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I don't know how it survived like it did. I mean, even the chrome around the taillights is just in unbelievable condition. We couldn't do much about this area. We did the best we could, but short of stripping it and painting it, which is really what needs to be done right there, we did what we could do. So I look forward to seeing it in the sun tomorrow. Hopefully it won't rain. It rains a lot this year. But we will see you in the morning. Ready to go in for the night, huh? Ready to go in? I think so. Let's see how it came out. I'm pretty happy with it here in the sun. It actually looks better than I thought we could accomplish. The roof that was just so badly chalked looks great. The hood was almost to the point where it couldn't be saved because the paint was so thin. Vinyl roof looks amazing. We haven't quite figured out what to use on these to clean them up. Look at the chrome on this thing. Super nice car. Let's take a look at what Christina has done with the interior of this. Spectacular is the word I would use. Let me get this key buzzer out. Look at this interior. I hope it comes through on camera. How just incredible this interior came out. This was very dirty and very stinky. We still have to put 3 of the floor mats back in. But this thing came out amazing. It's super clean now, it doesn't stink. The passenger side, the dash. The dash pad is perfect. She worked really hard on it. And the results speak for themselves. I've got a couple more repairs to make, and then we're taking this thing out on the road for the first time in decades. Next up on the Lincoln is to figure out why at idle it has a miss. As soon as it comes off idle, the miss disappears. Got to be a vacuum issue somewhere. So I'm going to start with replacing the EGR valve because if you saw the previous video, you know that it literally rusted off of the back of the intake. So I'm just going to put the new one on there to start from zero, trace the vacuum lines and see if I can discover a leak somewhere. This is the new valve here compared to the old one. It's significantly different in its design. Probably functions the same, just very different. And this is where the other one failed. These rivets rusted out, so the valve literally fell off the back of the intake. It's a simple job, 2 bolts. I'll take the plate out that I created and installed before, the block-off plate, and this should be quick and easy. Interesting twist installing this EGR valve. Now, those of you that work on newer cars probably are used to this. I haven't done an EGR valve in probably 15 years. So what you have to do is get the part number off it, and thankfully this is original Ford part number, and match it up with the instructions with the right size washer. This new one comes with a whole bunch of washers. And you put the washer in this little crevice or orifice here, and you stake it in place with a punch and a small hammer so it doesn't move. So according to this, I need a 220 washer and none for here according to this, but I'm going to double and triple check to make sure that that's true, that that's none, because this hole is larger than the original. So I need to get out my mic and start to see just how much larger it is. I've got all the old gasket material removed. I vacuumed out the area to make sure that none of the gasket got into the area behind the EGR, and I just hit it with a little bit of brake clean to make sure it's 100% cleaned up, and it is ready to go. So now I'm going to test fit the new EGR valve. It's radically different in size where it mounts, so I need to see if that's going to be a problem. So this is neat. It only goes on one way, the EGR. And in this case, unfortunately, the valve is pointing down for the vacuum hose. The original one is pointing up, but there's enough room to get the vacuum hose in there. Okay, that's on there. Here's the hose. Hopefully it reaches. It does. So this is good to go. The EGR valve is in, and the mist is gone. Back here at the exhaust, it's nice and smooth. We would love to be driving this car right now, but this hose is just coming apart right there. And upon taking it off, you can see there's quite a bit of rust in here. A little bit of a surprise because it had coolant in it, but you know, of course, coolant breaks down with age. I'm gonna be real careful about this thermostat, making sure it's okay, because we haven't warmed this car up yet. And you might want to think about changing it anyway, but you know how that works. You touch one thing, you snap a bolt, and suddenly you got lots of problems. So I'd rather test it first than replace it. So I'm going to vacuum all this out, clean it up with a wire brush, and then we'll be ready to put the new hose back on when it arrives. The new radiator hose has arrived, but it's not what I ordered. I hope it works. Kind of looks pretty weird. Looks like it might be too small, but we'll find out shortly. It certainly is not like the OEM one that I thought I was getting and the picture showed me. So let's see what happens. We've got an original hose here. Look at that. It's got the staple still in it to hold the clamp from spinning or moving. It lasted a good long time, but it's junk now. Interesting that this side of the hose is in pretty good shape. This side near the outlet, not so much. We've got one directional out right up here. I've got to take care of that before the Maiden voyage. Let me see how this thing comes apart. It's not immediately obvious how that happens. Super easy to get out. Just reach behind the headlight housing here and just twist it out. This is a colored bulb. Luckily I have some. So looks like from dual filament, it's probably like an 1157, only colored. Bulb was actually okay, just a loose wire. Okay, fair enough. Hit another snag. That is the heater control valve. What this does is it keeps heat out of the heater core when you don't want it in the heater core, such as when you're running the AC. And you can see it's completely gone. So what I've done just to keep the car running and movable is I've bypassed it. I just use a straight piece of new hose to go right by it. But that's worrisome. That gives you an idea of what is inside the cooling system, although I don't see that. Right, you look in the other side of the hose, it's completely fine. Yet that side where it connects is terrible. Fine, terrible. But we bypassed it for now because we've got to move this thing. I'm getting ready for the Maiden voyage, and I've got tool bag, some water, and this thing. This is my go-to. This is called the JF Egwo 6000A. You've probably seen me use it for years. I just love it. It's the best jump box around in my opinion, and it also has an air compressor in it to inflate tires. So this little bunch of stuff will hopefully allow me to combat any trouble if that car gives it to me. The goal here is to take it into quote-unquote town, because we really don't have much of a town here, and get the new tires put on. I took the center caps off because I think the tire guys might struggle with those because they're a little tricky. But I don't know, we'll see. This car hasn't gone more than 50 feet so far. Wish me luck. Off we go. Second. Oh, these tires are bad, bad, bad. Ooh, man. Wow. I didn't expect that. Whew. They are bad. I hope this thing makes it to the tire shop. Right now I'm doing about 42, which is way below the speed limit. I'm a little afraid to go any faster. I mean, these tires are shot. I kind of thought that given how good they look, they'd be a little smoother. I'm at 50 now. I have no rear view mirror in this thing. 50 is going to have to do. But it's smooth, like riding on a couch, as you would expect. For once, the low fuel light is out because I put a bunch in. Boy, this tank must be huge, but I've got almost a quarter now, so I'm not as worried as I was. Side mirrors work. I'm sure the guy behind me is annoyed. Because I'm going 52, but I've got quite a few miles to go before I get to this tire shop, so I just can't push it. Of course, I will get warning, I'm sure, if the tire's about to come apart. And I do have the jack and all, I'd just rather not do it on the side of the road. What I'll do is I'll pull over up ahead and let this guy by. He's right on my tail. No need of that, but he is. Whoa, man, oh man. Okay. All right, I'll get back to you. I'm gonna pull over up here. All right, hold them together. That one. This one, that one, and this one, so nothing's leaking. So I'm gonna keep going. I've probably got about 5 miles more. Did I mention I hate doing this? Still going. I made it through the one major country major, the one stoplight that I needed to get through. It's pretty much straight sailing from here, and I don't have to go as fast. So right now I'm trucking along at 35, and it's nice at 35. It's still very bumpy, but above 35, it's terrifying. I'll get back to you when I get there. out we got a real bad coolant leak. Man, it's just pouring out. Man. I still have full calipers and hoses to put on this. And none of them are frozen, but I can see this one it's getting ready to freeze, I think. But this coolant leak is bad, 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 and I can't find it. It's somewhere up in the radiator. I thought maybe it would be up the seam, but it doesn't appear to be. That's one of the tires that came off of it. See how out of round it is? It's crazy. These rear rotors look savable. The pads are gone, of course, so hoses and calipers for both sides, front and rear. Give a shout out to GC and Terry's Tire here in Middle Tennessee. They always treat me right. Heading home. It's so much better with these new tires. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm not terrified. I'm doing 45 right now, and if you've never driven a car like this, and I'm sure many of you viewers have, it's nothing like cars of today. The steering has almost no road feel, almost no feedback, and it's a one-finger job. I can literally steer it with that one finger. I can do hard turns and everything with that one finger, but there's no feedback. And it's super quiet. The windows are up now, and there's no air noise, nothing. And listen for a sec. Nothing. So, I got to get through this light up here. It took almost 2 full gallons of water, but a lot of that was it just sitting there. The engine didn't get hot. It just, while it was sitting there, a lot drained out. So I'm going to be fine. I just want to get this thing home and figure out what to do next, because the owner wants to pick it up in a few days, and that's just not going to happen. I was planning on doing the brakes, and now I have to do the brakes and the radiator, and who knows what else I find. Now this is cool. I got a green light, so wonderful. The guy at the tire shop, Chris, told me that these tires were dated the second week of 1976. So they were the original tires. This thing was built in August of 76. So it all lines up. It's no wonder the tires were so bumpy. 55. Riding on a cloud. So I'll get back to you when I get home. So far, so good. I made it. I wouldn't say it's the smoothest maiden voyage ever. This radiator's gotta go. Just when I was getting home, this caliper on the left side started to get a little wonky, as I thought it might, and it did. So I'm gonna need to look at those, but I'm gonna put this up in the air and see if I can identify where in the radiator the leak is occurring, because it's a bad one. As you can see, we have quite a leak here. Still don't see where yet. Okay, I see a leak way up there on the right side of the tank, and I gotta believe there's a leak at the bottom of the tank because it's pouring out too much. It's not the hose. And it's not any other hose. Wow, that is a bad leak. Okay, there's our leak. What you're looking at there, sorry for the glare, is the very bottom of the radiator. There's the last row of cooling fins, and right below it, all the way across, is just corroded, especially right there. And it's all wet and pouring out. So this radiator has absolutely had it. It's leaking at the top seam where it mounts, and it's leaking at the bottom. So it will not be driven any farther until this is resolved. Well, the maiden voyage didn't turn out quite like we had hoped, but at least this old girl saw the road for the first time in decades, and she was smooth. Thank you so much for watching today. We really appreciate the support from each and every one of you. If you like this video, please give it a like. Consider subscribing. Those subscriptions do help us a lot. And check out our merch at WTRmerch.com. You may see something there that you like. We're also offering memberships now. Comes with a whole host of benefits, and we're starting to roll those out recently. So check that out as well. For only $1.99 a month, you can join and be part of the channel and part of the increased benefits. Thank you again. Until we meet again, have a great day.